The quest for Oogie Boogie is the first ever bonus chapter in the season tour, and it is quite difficult to get through. There are 81 total medals, and the grand prize for making it to the end of this monster of a chapter is quite a great reward, giving you 70 Oogie Boogie shards, but getting to the end is not easy by any means. So in today's video, I'm going to go over the most optimal path to show you how you can reach the end of the quest for Oogie Boogie and show you what it is actually like once you get to claim all of these shards. So let's go ahead and take a deep look at all the possible paths here and show you what I think is going to be the easiest route. So to start things off, you're going to need a level 30 Mickey and Friends character. This is pretty easy, and there are a couple of different options. I would just go with Mickey Mouse himself personally, because he has a lot of application later on. However, going with Donald, Minnie, or Daisy are also all really good options. I would try and stay away from the Steamboats and Goofy just because they don't have any further application later on in this chapter. Moving on, you get the choice to go either with a level 32 Monsters Inc. character or a level 32 Olaf. The route that you go here is really entirely up to you. If you can do Olaf, I say go for that. I think it is the better option. However, undoubtedly Monsters Inc. is going to be a lot easier. Getting a level 32 Mike Wazowski or Celia May I don't think is much of a challenge at all, whereas Olaf is a much rarer character and harder to level him up. However, there is an additional Frozen node later on, so just keep that in mind when you're deciding whether to go with node 2 or 3. It's also important to keep in mind you do not have to complete every single one of these missions. Our goal here is just to get to the end of the chapter. We are trying to pick the easiest path possible, and we are really not going to worry about additional nodes at all. So if you can only do the Monsters Inc. node and you can't complete the Olaf one, that's totally fine because we are still progressing through the path as efficiently as possible. Moving on to node 4, this one is unavoidable. You are going to need a level 33 Aladdin character. Unfortunately, on the direct path to the end, there are no other Aladdin characters required, so I just go with like Jasmine or whoever you have the most shards for, whoever you enjoy the most. Just get them to level 33 and try and get through this node as easily as possible. Then there is another fork in the road where you get the choice of either number 5 or 6, needing either a level 34 Jack Skellington or a level 34 Hercules. Now I'm just going to say it right now, if you do not have Jack Skellington and you do not want to purchase Jack Skellington, you are unfortunately not going to be able to complete the quest for Oogie Boogie. You pretty much have to be a Golden Pass owner, unfortunately, because getting Jack is next to impossible without the Golden Pass. Unless you get super lucky via capsules, there's almost no way for you to get him. And to even attempt the last mission in this season tour chapter, you need a level 40 Jack Skellington. So unfortunately, if you don't have him unlocked and you don't have the Golden Pass, getting to the end of this is just going to be simply not possible for you. So obviously, if you own Jack Skellington, we're going to choose all of his nodes instead. So we're just going to completely ignore the Hercules one, basically. Unless you can do it, then you get all of these sweet rewards, which is pretty nice. But as for just making it to the end, just do the Jack Skellington ones, because you need him at level 40 for the end anyways, so you might as well pick his node instead of wasting resources on Hercules characters that you might need later on. Moving on, we get our first longer path split. You can either choose nodes 7 and 9, or you can choose nodes 8 and 10. Now on paper, 8 and 10 seem a lot more difficult. You need a level 35 Beast and a level 36 Woody, whereas the ones above you only need a level 35 Toy Story character and a level 36 Frozen character. Now going back to the start, obviously if you chose Olaf and you already have him at level 32, then I say take the higher route, upgrade whatever Toy Story character you can, and do this upper node and then just take Olaf up to 36, and then you won't have much trouble getting through nodes 7 and 9. However, if you opted for the Monsters Inc. path instead of the Olaf path, then I would say go for nodes 8 and 10 with Beast and Woody. Again, I do think this one is a lot more difficult because you need the specific individual characters, but if you can do it, it's definitely going to pay off in the long run because there is another Beast node later on where you can reuse those levels. Our goal is to pretty much try and upgrade as few characters as possible in order to get to the end. So really, whether you choose 7 and 9 is just going to depend on, do you have more shards for Olaf or Beast, basically, and do you have enough for Woody? If you don't, just go for the top path, but if you can afford to upgrade Beast and Woody this high, I say go for it. And then we have the Mystery Race, which is very straightforward and easy. Then you're going to need need a level 30 Dr. Finkelstein, this one should not be much of a challenge. There are lots of ways to get Dr. Finkelstein shards. Not only is he in the other 5 Season Tour chapters, he's on the free side of the Golden Pass, and there's also an event for him in game, so like by the end of the season, you should definitely have him at level 30. That should not be much of a challenge whatsoever. Then we get the choice between either node 13, 14, or 15, and Jack Skellington is an option here, and we're going to once again choose him because we need him at level 40 for the end, so you might as well go for this. However, if you're a free-to-play player just trying to get as far as possible, I would say opt in for the Inside Out one because Baloo is a very hard character to level up, and having him at level 38 is not going to be easy, plus I don't think he's needed like anywhere else in this Season Tour chapter at all. And then you get, once again, a choice between 3 nodes. You can either opt for a level 40 Oswald the Lucky Rabbit character, which is insane. Even on my main account that I have been actively playing for well over a year at this point, I am not close to getting a level 40 Oswald the Lucky Rabbit character. So I would either go with a level 40 Lilo, Stitch, Belle, or Beast, and once again, this is where Beast is going to come in handy. So if all the way back here you opted in to do the Beast and Woody side, this will be a lot easier because you can just upgrade your Beast to level 40 and then progress through this section right here, and then claim your shards here where you get Vanellope and Daisy shards, which is going to come in handy on this next section. We have the mystery race once again, which is pretty easy, and then there is also a Miss Piggy node. So if you are able to unlock Miss Piggy later in the season, this is obviously going to be the best option because you can ignore these level 41 and 42 nodes that are above and below this middle path, and you can just go straight through to the end, which is obviously going to be the best option. However, Miss Piggy is not currently available, and we have no idea how difficult she is going to be unlocked. So if like these are just completely unfeasible for you, these King Candy, Felix, Vanellope, Ralph, Minnie, Daisy, and Mickey and Donald nodes, if all of those sound way too hard for you, then I would just, sort of put all your eggs in one basket and be fully prepared to try and unlock Miss Piggy and get her to level 20, and then you can just skip all of those and go straight through the middle here and kind of ignore all of that. However, once again, we do not know how hard Miss Piggy is going to be unlocked, and so you might want to try and attempt one of these other ones, and I think whether you choose the bottom or top path is simply going to depend on whether or not you were an active and paying player in Season 7, because if you were active during the Wreck-It Ralph season, I'm sure you probably have either a high-level Felix or King Candy at this point, and if you purchased one of the Golden Passes, I'm sure you also have a lot of shards for either Ralph or Vanellope, and doing this top path might not seem too difficult. However, if you did not play during Season 7, the bottom path isn't too bad, I don't think. A level 41 Mickey or Donald, yes, it is a high level requirement, but Mickey and Donald, they're some of the first racers you unlock when you play Disney Speedstorm, and they shouldn't be that difficult to level up this high. The real difficulty with the bottom path comes in either the form of Minnie or Daisy, because unlocking these characters are not easy at all. Daisy luckily has had a lot of Star Chasers, and so I would opt in you try and go with her, especially considering up to this point you have already earned 5 Daisy shards, so that's a little bit of a boost, but getting her to level 42 is definitely quite a hefty task. And so if you cannot level up Minnie or Daisy or Ralph or Vanellope to level 42, just bank on unlocking Miss Piggy, I think. But if you can, I would say opt to go for one of these paths. That way you're not just putting all your eggs in one basket. That's probably the best way to go about it, But these nodes are pretty difficult, so if you can go for one of the paths, go for it, but otherwise, it's whatever. And then after that, things get really difficult, requiring you to either have a level 43 Joy, Sadness, Woody, or Buzz for these paths, and then a level 44 Olaf or 44 Mike, but we can kind of just ignore nodes 25, 28, 26, and 29, and just go straight across through the middle where you can do the mystery race, and then a level 40 Jack Skellington, and this is obviously going to get you the 70 Oogie Boogie shards. And there you guys have it. That is the quest for Oogie Boogie. And so my optimal path requires you needing to have 6 characters leveled up. These, of course, being a level 41 Mickey Mouse, a level 40 Jack Skellington, a level 30 Dr. Finkelstein, a level 40 Beast, a level 36 Woody, and a level 42 Daisy. If you have all of those characters, you will be able to progress through the end very, very easily. Oh, and then of course the level 32 Monsters Inc. and 33 Aladdin characters, but those are not, character specific, it's more of a collection based thing. And there you guys have it. Obviously, there's different ways to optimize it. That is just the path that I think is the easiest on paper, but it's really going to be a case by case scenario. And so, using the information I presented, sort of look at your account, see which characters you have at a high enough level, and strategically plan out your racing boost for the next couple weeks to try and squeeze out those extra shards and upgrade coins that you might need. But let's go ahead and hop on over to my main account and complete the final node in the quest for Oogie Boogie and see what it's like to fully unlock him. Alright, here I am on my main account where I have completed nearly every single mission in this crazy chapter, other than, of course, the Miss Piggy node and the Oswald node, because I swear, they just do not give shards out for these characters. Like, I have had them unlocked for, like, since they came out, and it's only level 37 and 32, so who knows if I'll even get to complete that node before the end of this part of the season, but I have finished everything else, and now we get to claim our 70 Oogie Boogie shards, an absolutely massive amount of shards, as well as the Avatar, Bloodstone Dice. And there you can see new racer unlocks, Oogie Boogie himself, finally joining my roster. So excited, one of my favorite Disney villains of all time, and he looks phenomenal. There we go, new racer unlocked, Oogie Boogie. Super happy that he is finally joining my collection, and yeah, Oogie Boogie is here. Let me know what you guys think about the quest for Oogie Boogie, and I really hope this video and guide was helpful in hopefully making you guys a plan to formulate like your best path forward. It is such a difficult chapter, and honestly, I do have to say I love the concept. I love the idea of having a additional season tour chapter where all of the hard parts of the other chapters get put in, and it's just this super long gauntlet for endgame players that you have to grind out, plan a good path, upgrade characters past level 40. I think that whole concept is super fun. I think having a lot of rewards, the rewards are good. My issue with this is that, one, it's not accessible to free-to-play players. If you don't have Jack Skellington unlocked, you're not making it to the end. So you get stopped pretty early on, actually. Additionally, it's just not fair because it's rewards that we used to get for free. Oogie Boogie is a Season Tour character, and in the past, Season Tour characters have been relatively free to play accessible. Who was the free to Wreck-It Ralph was pretty easy to get as a free to play player. I'm trying to remember who they've been. Tia Dalma was pretty easy to get. Anger was pretty easy to get. All these characters in like the new era of Disney Speedstorm have been pretty easy to get from the season tour as a free-to-play player, but now Oogie Boogie is completely locked behind a paywall, and I'm going to have a whole video out on this in a couple days because I feel very strongly about it. But having only one free-to-play character in a 4-character season, and I'm assuming the 2 mid-season characters are not going to be free-to-play accessible either, feels really bad. That's 1 out of 6 new characters coming this season, and while I am a fan of the quest for Oogie Boogie adding this endgame content for people, and adding, this fun gauntlet of a chapter, taking characters and rewards that we otherwise would have gotten for free and locking it behind a paywall in this super difficult chapter is not the way to do it. There should still be a way to get Oogie Boogie for free, whether it's 10 shards at the end of chapter 5, even something as simple as that would be okay. But locking it all behind a level 40 Jack Skellington node, as well as all the crazy stuff that comes before it, is not okay, in my opinion. And if they fix that, I would love this new chapter, but as it stands, yes, it is fun and it's exciting for an endgame player like me, but I know for majority of players in Disney Speedstorm, it's just not fair, and because of that, I can't really support it and say that it is a great addition to the game. I love what it stands for, but I hate the fact that they're taking away these rewards we used to get for free. But let me know what you guys think. How are you guys doing with the quest for Oogie Boogie? Are you going to make it to the end? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. I hope this was helpful, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.